All right, in this video, I'll be going over how to use Clay to help you sort of brainstorm some copy almost instantly. Once you have this set up, it really makes your life a lot easier, especially when you're working with multiple clients, or even if you're doing this for the first time for your B2B company or sort of any outbound that you're looking to do. This really just helps you map out your TAM super quickly. So you'll have noticed that in the description, I sent over or you can just quickly copy paste this Clay table. So I'll just be sending that over. Feel free to use it. Feel free to edit any of the things in this Clay table, but it will be all yours. And in this video, I'll just be going over how it works and sort of why we do some of the things that we do. So first things first, all you need is just to put a client name and a company website. Right now, I just put rev growth, and then as well, this is optional, but sometimes you'll notice, and if you run this like broadly without direction at first, you'll probably notice some like completely off outputs, and basically just this direction prompt just helps you sort of or a field just helps you sort of clarify what you're looking for, and like specifically around like the ICPs that you're looking to target. So what I put here is like focus on B2B service-based businesses who are likely to have a sales team. It's not a ton of direction, but it gives the prompt a little bit of an idea of what you're looking for and sort of how to research it. But you'll notice it's a pretty hefty prompt. It goes into a lot of detail, and what it spits out for us is a breakdown of sort of the packages that you likely have or you could have for your offer, an ICP doc for you. So it's just like, who are you targeting, what sort of headcounts, what countries, some keywords, what decision makers you're looking for. As well, an ICP doc. So you can export this very easily, but this gives you sort of like what keywords to include, exclude on the company level and the prospect level. And this can just sort of be the base of what you work off of as your ICP doc. As well, a strategy doc. So this gives you sort of a phased approach on how you could launch this. Typically, it breaks it down into like a 9-week thing. And then as well, it aligns your services that it outputted with segments like that are more likely to interact with that. And then as well, your target segments. So then your target segments are broken down. So there's a cap of 5 segments per output. So that's why you see these fields. So if the AI feels like there's 5 solid segments, it'll output it for you. And if you really want 5, you can also ask in the direction, hey, give me 5 or give me 6, and you can update the prompt. 5 is typically a good starting point. And then this is just broken down because it's pushed to the next table, which is your industry segments. So here it does in-depth research about every single segment that you outputted. And as you can see, you get a lot of research around them. And I'll actually open this up just to show you. So we're telling it you're a business analyst, and then these are the 4 things that we want you to look into. So segment profile overview, buyer persona development, value proposition refinement, and go-to-market strategy for each one. And that's why we also split it up. It's a lot easier for AI to give you good outputs if you split up these tasks across the segments you want, instead of saying, hey, these are my 5 segments, do this 5 times in the same prompt. It'll just run out of context, and it won't be able to output the entire thing for you. By persona, value prop, go to market, and I'll actually just show you an example of what this looks like. I'll just do it here. I wish I could open this up, but it is what it is. So you'll notice the first section is segment profile overview. And now let's find number 2. Buyer persona development. So head of sales, CRO, key buyers, B2B, SaaS orgs. And then, so that's the breakdown. But I just want to go over these segments actually real quick. Just B2B SaaS companies, B2B agencies, consulting, project retainers. Okay. B2B enabled tech services. Okay, sounds good. And seems very aligned with what we're looking at. Okay, cool. And then part 3. So after this part, now you have very detailed analysis on every single segment, and you could go ahead and write your copy. So here it outputs it into individual lines. Again, where each segment sort of gets its analysis and all that context of how it could run these campaigns. And then we have a quick prompt using a ton of context from previous successful campaigns of just like, this is what the sort of message 1 could look like. This is what message 2 could look like. I want you to sort of A/B test some elements for me. Give me ideas for that. And here are more, like even more examples. And then here's even more examples in this section down below with just a bunch of spin tacks on how things could be done. So yeah, moving on from there, then you get 6 sort of very clean templates that, to be completely honest, at times does output a little like some weird copy, but really the objective here is to help you start the brainstorming process. So now basically in the span of 5 minutes, you're easily able to get all of these 18 different copy angles where you can sort of pick and choose the best elements of it. So that's what we typically do. You'd go through each line. Ideally, you output this somewhere else so it's easier to work with, like a Google Doc or something like that. But maybe it's like, okay, cool. I don't like anything about this email except maybe just this call to action. Big fan of how this is worded. That's what I want to run with. And then you move on to the next one. See, okay, you know what? I really like this this opening line. Like I want to mention GDRP for whatever reason. Like I'm gonna take that subject line. And then as well, okay, big fan of the outbound assessment as like a lead magnet that I could build. Cool, I'm gonna run with that. Variant C, fast ramp for VC-backed growth. Cool, seeing VC-backed teams race to ramp outbound pipeline. Our SDR as a service delivers consistent meetings. You could like see this point and say, okay, cool, big fan of framing it as SDR as a service, because a lot of these are SaaS, so like, they might be more open to it just because it's the business model that they're in. I like using this social proof, and as well, you could add this in the direction aspect of just adding any sort of elements of your like case studies that you want to use for some of these campaigns. But this is really just to help you get your foot in the door of just getting ideas out quickly. And then you could say, okay, cool, big fan of running a pilot offer and framing it as a pilot offer for these clients. So anyways, that's the sort of breakdown of how this works. Hope you find it valuable, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.